What's up, gamers? Today we're going to be finding the best bachelorette for this character. He is desperately on the hunt to finally feel for the first time in his life the touch of a woman, and we are going to help him get that. And we're going to start with Herrah. Herrah is one of the NPCs in the game that you probably forgot about. She's one of the dreamers that you fight. She's also technically the queen of Deep Nest, so all the spiders in this area are just under her rule. That's all her land, that's all her property. It's looking good. But you know what else? She had a partner, but he died, leaving her without an heir. This is a prime opportunity to slide in, okay? This woman is a queen, she is single, she is ready, and you probably think, why is this not the obvious choice? Why are we starting with this? Well, turns out that she is Hornet's mother, and Hornet is our sister. So technically she is our stepmom. So yeah, that's a little unfortunate. We almost had that one. Let's look at Willow. So Willow is technically what's called a giraffe weevil. And when I was looking at her, I was like, okay, if this is what she is in game, the real life bug has got to be cute, right? No, it's not. Willow is the definition of just there for the vibes. She's only eating the fungus that's in the Queen's Gardens. That's all she does. That's really her only purpose. There is a corpse up on the shelf that you can see like where she's eating from. So I don't know if that implies that there's a little bit of cannibalistic tendencies to watch out for, but I think it's more of a beige flag. It's probably fine. We'll forgive it, okay? Just look at her. We gotta let her off the hook. I think she's a good candidate, honestly. I think it could be really good, but I think we could do something a little bit better, something a little more interesting. Okay, we're gonna look at Bretta. Personally, I like to call her Bretta Filter. The way that you meet her is actually you save her in a cave, and then she is so thankful. She ends up like writing letters to you, notes in her diary, all these things about you. She paints you. Just so sweet, so grateful. It's really cute. But the second that she sees this other character, this other male bug, go and fight in the arena, the Coliseum of Fools, now all of a sudden all of her drawings are about him. All of the diary entries are about him. So I think she's a bit of a sellout. It is possible that if we had actually initiated something, that wouldn't have happened. She could just more so be in love with the idea of love with us, and because we didn't reciprocate it at any point in the game, she moved it to somebody else, and that's fair. But I do get major pick-me energy from her. You wanna hear what she says? She goes, "Oh, you forgot about me? I knew you would. Everyone always forgets about me. Oh, who are you? Your face. You're so sorry. When I look at your face, I just can't believe you came all the way down here to rescue me. I didn't think anybody. Sorry. I mean, thank you. You better go." She's not an option, just for that alone. She's got way too many internal issues to figure out before she dates us. Our guy deserves way better than that, okay? He's single-handedly taking out the disease that's polluting the world, remember? He needs somebody stable. He needs somebody who he can settle down with, live a nice life. So maybe what we need to do instead is look at Myla. Myla is just happy to be there. She's a miner in the Crystal Peaks. That's all she does. She just hums to herself, gets on with her work. She has a great time. She's very cute. You know, she's in a very dangerous area, but she takes care of herself. She's been there very long, so she knows how to handle herself. I think there's a lot of potential. It's a little risky because we don't know the connection that they have, but it does have potential. Except she does guaranteed die unless you choose to not talk to her in the game. The only way you can end up with this character not dying from the infection is if you change her sprite in the game files or like never interact with her on your screen. So it's kind of a situation where if you love her and you want the best for her, you have to stay away from her. And that's cute, that's sweet, that's so deeply romantic. But yeah, I don't think that that's what our knight exactly needs in his life. He can do it if he wants to, but I think if we're setting him up with the girl of his dreams, this isn't gonna work out. We can at least try Salubra. Salubra is the kind woman with very nice eyelashes who basically sells you all the charms that you can get in the game and sells you charm notches. She's an entrepreneur, independent woman, runs this shop all by herself even amidst the danger of the infection. We're looking at a self-sufficient bug, and this is another one that's a good choice. Except for one thing. When you get all 40 charms in the game, she gives you something called Salubra's Blessing. And what that does is that anytime you sit down at a bench to heal, it'll also fill up your soul. And that's super useful, because now you don't have to go and get a bunch of soul before boss fights by smacking some bugs around. But the thing is, every time you sit at a bench to heal like that, a little vision of her kind of just hangs out around you, and it just stays no matter how long you sit there. And essentially what this means, though, is that because this is the only instance where you sit down in the game, the only time you sit down is at a bench, it basically implies that anytime the knight sits down, even if him and Salubra break up, he will forever be haunted by a hallucination of his ex-girlfriend. So yeah, that's a little bit too big of a risk for our boy to take. I don't think we're gonna let him do that. Let's look at Cloth, because Cloth has a lot in common with the knight. They're both extremely adventurous. They're in the same line of work of trying to wipe out all the evil from the land. And Cloth is a very friendly, energetic woman. She knows what she wants. She's got her path for life ahead of her. Plus, when the knight meets her, you save her. So that's like infinite riz off the bat. She respects you a lot. She thinks you're great. She thinks you're good at fighting. Ugh, it's perfect. Every signal in the world with this girl is green, okay? Green light. But she has a girlfriend. Her name is Nola. She talks about her a lot. She talks about how she wants to fight everybody off and then go home to Nola, which is really sad considering that she dies in battle to save us, because then Nola's just left wondering what happened. What we could do is try to slide in with Nola while she's grieving, take advantage of that, but I think that's a bit of a bad thing to do. So yeah, we're not gonna make that one work, sadly. Speaking of taking people's significant others though, we could look at Iselda and the likelihood of her breaking up with Cornifer. Iselda runs a shop in Dirtmouth with Cornifer. She sells maps, map markers, kind of just random little things to help you on your journey. But then her husband, Cornifer, is always gone. Always in random parts of the area, you know, there's some possible discontent that we could use there. But she did actually give up a life as a warrior in order to settle down in a quieter town to live with him. So I think she's probably down for the count. I think there's a little too much loyalty there, which it's probably good. It's probably a good thing we can't go for the taken characters. Plus, a relationship with her would also be potentially bad, kind of like Salubra, because if we ended up breaking up, she's responsible for selling us a lot of the maps, or her husband, so we'd probably lose access to a lot of that. I think it's a solid F tier, 0 out of 10. We're not even gonna try. We need to find an NPC that's at least doable. Man, I feel so weird. Let me look at only a list of the female characters in Hollow Knight. Oh, what's that? I can pull them all up on a Reddit thread? Oh, that's great. I wonder why people use this list. Okay, let's look at Millibelle. Millibelle is a slightly older bug, but we don't discriminate. She opens up a bank, I believe at the bottom of Fog Canyon, and she'll let you deposit money with her. So you'd think she's a very reliable person, she's wise, she knows how to handle things. But actually what happens is if you give her over, I think 2,500 Geo, she'll run away with it. And then the only way for you to get the money back is to go to the City of Tears and then just beat her up until you get the money back. Like physically pry it out of her. That's not a great start to a relationship, so slim odds. We can't do that one. Okay, well, since we're on the topic of old women in this game, let's look at the Seer. So the Seer lives in the Resting Grounds, which is the most desolate part in all of Hollow Knight, so it's safe to say she gets very little social interaction. But she is the one that is very wise, because she gives you the Dream Nail, which is what lets you basically read the minds of other bugs. I do worry, though, that because she's very stationary, she's very isolated, she's not going to be able to provide the energy that our knight needs. I mean, he needs some zeal. He's mobile. He's going around the map. I don't think that there's really good compatibility here. And you know, the more of these NPCs we look at and objectify, the more I wonder if we just are not smart enough in our decision making. Maybe our logic is a little rusty. Maybe we aren't thinking critically enough. And you know, the way that we can get better at that is with a platform called Brilliant, who I thank for partnering with me on today's video. Brilliant is a platform where you learn by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in math, data analysis, programming, and AI. All of the lessons are written by award-winning researchers, and they show you how to solve problems and just learn to think more logically. And it's not memorization like you might think it is. I don't like memorization either. You're building real-life knowledge with hands-on puzzles. And the best way to do that is through habit, which Brilliant encourages you to do in order to make sure that you get the results that you want. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So here they just added a whole new course on how large language models work, which is AI, and that lets you learn how it works as a whole, how does training data get used, how can you make it give you the best output. It's really awesome that you can build that familiarity in just a few minutes whenever you want to. To try everything Brilliant has to offer, free for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/juniperdev or click on the link in the description. You'll also get 20% off an annual premium subscription. So that's pretty snazzy. Now that Brilliant has really trained my logic skills here and my intelligence, I think we're going to be even better at analyzing who the best candidate is for the night. Let's look at Tuck. Tuck? I don't know. Tuck is actually a real charmer, but I don't remember anything about her, because I don't even know if I ran into her in my playthrough. So let's see. Tuck is a scavenger who keeps to herself. She vehemently searches the royal waterways for someone. Despite her introverted nature, she remembers those who help her, such as the Dung Defender. Well, first off, it's a green flag if she's friends with the Dung Defender. Doma, 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 Doma. That guy? Yeah, that guy. It sounds like she's pretty reserved and maybe a little weird, a bit of an oddball. Oh, there's actually an alive and dead tab on the wiki for her, so... Oh! Yeah, it looks like she can die. The rancid egg collection that she has is maybe a little concerning. I think she's gonna smell a lot. Yeah, Tuck is... Oh no. I have a mirror right there, and all I see is like half the green screen, me standing in my room holding a microphone. It is horrible. Anyway, we can move back on topic. I don't think Tuck is gonna work. I think the rancid egg smell is gonna be too much. So I guess we can look at the Midwife. The name here makes it really hard to even begin with this one. So she technically delivered Hornet from the chick that we talked about earlier, Herrah. Maybe that's a fun little relationship tidbit. She doesn't really have any personality. She just tries to eat you and manipulate you, so... Maybe that's a plus, maybe that's a con, I don't know. We're gonna move on, because this isn't gonna work. Okay, let's move on to Eternal Emilitia. Emilitia used to be super popular among all the bugs in the City of Tears, but once everyone kind of started dying out due to the infection, she actually lived, so she started hallucinating them and just kind of going insane, and now the only place you'll find her in-game is when she's laughing to herself in her room or talking to herself. She's also kind of a simp for the Pale King. Like, if you try and bring her a flower, she'll just be like, no, this doesn't even compare to the light of the Pale King. So yeah, I think that this one's kind of just a walking red flag. Maybe we can friend zone Emilitia, you know? I think she needs somebody in her life. But yeah, no romance there. Let's look at the White Lady. And first off, by the way, can we take a second to think about that name for a second? The White Lady. The White Lady? Is there a black lady? Anyway though, if you can get past that fact, she's also the knight's mother. Even if she wasn't, one of her things in her lore is that she couldn't stop herself from reproducing, so she physically tethered herself to the ground so she couldn't do it anymore. She basically neutered herself because she was out of control. That might be a pro, that might not be a con, but I don't know. A little bit off the deep end, and also our mother, so... Yeah, not that one. Okay, we have one character left, and I think the best option so far has been either Willoh or Bretta, but I know that the knight deserves more than them. We're gonna look at Marissa. So the lore behind her is that she was a singer in the City of Tears, and everybody else pretty much died, so she lost her audience and then she died. So the form of her that you see in the game is actually her dead ghost form, but when you come up to her, she tells you, even though it's only you, it's so nice to have an audience again. This right here? This is a love story waiting to happen. These are two lovers alone at the end of the world with only each other. You have a spirited woman with a passion for singing, and a man who's the only one left to listen. Maybe they're the only ones who can keep each other from being alone when everyone else is gone. She may be dead. She may be in a spirited form, but if anything, that shows that this love is beyond bodies. This love is beyond their world. This love is beyond any other character he's met so far. This is a deep, beautiful love. This is what life is about, finding someone in the hope when you have nothing left. I'm thrilled. I will schedule the wedding, and you guys are all invited if you subscribe. But seriously, I'm so thrilled. I've never objectified women this much in my entire life, let alone searched as many video game character names in my life. But yeah, if you have a different opinion about who you think the knight should end up with, or I missed a point about one of the women, then you should totally let me know in the comments, or join the Discord server and you can talk about all you want, and I'd love to hear your opinion. Anywho, that's all for me. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!